Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday, 12:30, and that means that the crew at Frog Recruitment are getting together to go live here on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn to talk about all things jobs and employment in New Zealand. Hi there, my name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of Frog Recruitment in New Zealand and People to People in Australia. So thanks for joining us again, despite the lockdowns. So there's plenty to go through today. But before I get started, I just wanted to congratulate Sophie Pascoe, who got the silver yesterday at the Paralympics. And for those who don't know Sophie, she's a 9 times gold medalist. And she's got a 2020, but it's Tokyo 2021 campaign underway in spectacular fashion. I think yesterday, winning silver in the women's 100-meter breaststroke SB8. So she started in that race ranked number 3. The picture you got on the screen there is Sophie and a coach. It's hard to get any pictures of the actual Paralympics for obvious reasons, and so we stole this one from her Instagram account. So yeah, fantastic news. Congratulations, Sophie. So a quick welcome also to Jacob, who's our behind-the-scenes man on Frogs on Friday. He still lives in Mount Wellington, but really we know it's Panmure. We do know it's Panmure, Jacob. Really, we do. It's not that special, like sounding higher sort of area. Anyway, okay, today we're going to go through our regular numbers section. Today we've got some interesting numbers about particular job sectors, so like government and accounting and the like. So we'll go through that. Then we'll cross live to Peter Crestani in Wellington with a Wellington update to discuss the market in the capital and some opportunities that we're working on down there. Then we'll do our regular Frogs in the News section with Remy in Auckland, who's our marketing manager, and he'll be telling us all about the launch of New Zealand Top Dog, the competition that we've been running for the last 5 years. And I think launch date is the 31st of August, but Remy's going to tell us more about that. And then finally, we'll review last week's Twitter poll. We got a little bit of traction on Twitter. People were not happy with that question, so we'll give the results of that and then launch this week's Twitter poll as well. So we can see all of your comments live. So if you do have any comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, just pop them in there. We can answer any of your questions throughout the broadcast. So feel free to do that. So let's get started then, and we'll get into our numbers section. Rightio, so here we are. What I thought I'd do this week is actually take, with thanks to Seek Analytics, our friends at Seek, they do this analysis, and what they show us here is the change, the market demand and supply for particular job groups or families. So I've got a couple that I wanted to show you today. The first one that you got on the screen there is accounting in New Zealand. And so there are 2 lines on that graph. One is the number of job advertisements. That's the green line. And then you've got the number of job ad views. So the number of people who are actually looking at those ads. And I think this is an amazing number, and it's quite interesting. But throughout New Zealand, the demand for accountants, if you're just looking at job ads, different to the actual number of jobs, is up 76% on last year, this time last year. So I'll just repeat that, 76% up on last year, yet the number of people looking at those ads, the number of times of job ad views, is down 9.52%. So we've got this disconnect between the demand for accountants and those who are actually looking for a change or looking at those job ads. So it just tells you how much the difference there is there. Let's have a look at the next section or the next slide, which is admin and office support. I am sort of focusing on some of the areas that Frog concentrate on in NZ. So for admin and office support throughout New Zealand, job ads up 109.4, 110%, which is huge. But once again, the number of people looking at those ads year on year is down 6.9%. So again, once it says that this talent shortage, despite lockdowns, is still existing. The data here is up until the end of July, by the way, just for people to know. And the last one I wanted to show, well, there's 2 more, but the last segment is government and defence in New Zealand, which is relevant for our Wellington update. And you can see that the job ads in Wellington are up 99%. But this is across New Zealand, this one we're looking at here, so not in Wellington, excuse me. Job ads for government and defence across New Zealand is up 99%, and the job ad views are up 11%. So people are looking for that security of working for the government. But what about Wellington specifically and in the capital? And it's the same story as the other sectors, up 100% in terms of job ads, but the job ad views down 4%. So just very difficult to find talent. So yeah, it's interesting. If you have a particular sector, segment, like let me give you some examples: technology, property, marketing, human resources. So you'd like that data that you'd like me to display on Frogs on Friday? Drop me a note. Send us a message on all of the different social channels, and we can get that up there for you as well. But we'll just keep an eye on those over every Friday, amongst other statistics as well. So let's now, because the last thing we looked at was government, let's now get a Wellington update from Peter Crestani, the Managing Director of Capital Recruitment and Frog Recruitment in Wellington. G'day, Peter. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good, thank you. Mark, how's it going for you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not a fan of lockdowns, and I'm certainly not a fan of masks as well. Those two things are really not my favourite things at the moment. But how's the market in Wellington at the moment?
I think. I think you've just seen the figures, and they show what's been happening for quite some time. Where shortage of supply of quality candidates with the right kind of experience. Lockdowns affected things a little bit, and we work predominantly in the government sector. We have a couple of clients, 3 clients, MBMIQ, MOH in the COVID area, and also MFAT with this escalation of issues in Afghanistan. That's sort of changed things a little bit, slowed things down a tad. But look, we're all used to working online now. We've still got interviews happening. We've got sending CVs out. Clients are looking at them, having chats with potential employees online. So it's sort of business as usual, but just a little bit different. So still quite buoyant. It really depends on what happens in the announcement today as to lockdown in Wellington and New Zealand in general.
Do you think if it's a negative, like if the lockdown's extended or restrictions are in place, or there are further restrictions, do you think that will change the demand for talent in Wellington and with the government right now? Do you think that will change?
No, I don't think it'll change fundamentally, but I think it will make potential candidates more cautious about where they might move to. They might be a little bit more conservative because of making sure that they want to go to the right kind of organisation, and it's going to be okay, that they can work from home, and having those sort of flexibilities is really important for a lot of candidates now.
The residency piece is really flowing through, in not just in the government sector, but also all sectors where we've had offers declined and the length of time it's taking for people to make a decision. And it's not necessarily, normally it would be employers who may be dragging their feet in terms of making a decision to make a hire, but it's also candidates who are now hesitant to make a change just in case. And I think that's why I was so interested in those statistics. One is that, sure, in government in Wellington, that the number of people viewing ads is down, but outside or all of New Zealand, people looking at government there's more people looking than this time last year. And I think that might be because of the security aspect, that people perceive that there's a security element to joining the public sector. Do you think that's fair, or what's your view?
I think it's fair. For a lot of candidates, that would be a fair, if they're in the permanent space and they're looking for security, government's not going to go out of business. Inland Revenue still collects taxes. We still need our social services and education services met. So that'll keep on going. The challenge is that gap between the jobs advertised and the number of qualified candidates for those roles, because often we're looking for experienced people in the government sector. And if you haven't got that experience, it's quite a difficult bar to jump over to move into the public sector from the private sector because of the perceived lack of experience. And they call it the machinery of government. Do you understand the machinery of government? Do you know how the government sector works? And it is different to the private sector.
Now, we've just had a comment on Facebook saying, interesting update, Peter. Have you seen many clients offering more flexibility to get candidates on board or any other additional benefits?
Well, in government, there's not really additional benefits, but there was a lot more flexibility around working from home, those sorts of things, or reduced hours. It might be 9-day fortnights, those sort of things. And one of our challenges has been to make sure that we understand the candidate requirements going into a recruitment process so we can ensure that the client is aware of that right at the get-go. So because sometimes some people's requirements might be quite too difficult or just can't be matched by the hiring organisation. So it's far better if you can just put it out front going, okay, well, I want to work from home 1 day a week and I want a 9-day fortnight. And oh, by the way, I want to pick my child up from school at 3:30, but I'll make up those hours after 6 o'clock at night. And if you put it out there, a lot of the government sector employers now are really comfortable with those flexible working arrangements. Not all the time, and sometimes there are requirements where actually, no, you've got to be in the office. And there are certain security issues for some organisations where until you've got your security clearance, you can't work from home. You've got to work in the office and you can't take any files out and you can't take a laptop home until those sort of clearances are met as well. So a lot of privacy and security issues at times.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, before I let you go, is there any specific vacancies or areas of demand that you'd like to mention?
Well, we work a lot in the policy space, so we're looking for senior policy people, permanent and contracting, legislative experience, regulatory experience. We've got some contract roles in that space now. Also got a really great role outside of government, which is with Wellington Water. We're looking for a director of regulatory services for that organisation, and we really love working with them. Great people. It's a really interesting role. Reports to the chief executive, senior level, and really helping them to navigate the new regulatory frameworks with the three waters, which is articulated water, wastewater, and stormwater. There's a whole lot of reforms happening in that space in New Zealand, which is exciting, interesting, and a lot of spotlight in that space at the moment because of the proposed changes by the government.
Yeah,
really
great.
good opportunity.
Right. I can see that Jacob is doing his job and he's put your contact, well, he's put the website for Capital Recruitment in the comments there, so if people want to get in touch with you. So if somebody's specifically interested, is there a number that they can get you on?
Better to email me on peter@capitalrecruitment.co.nz. We're still waiting for the integration with the Frog email addresses, but it's Capital and Frog together. So Send me an email. Love to hear from you.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for joining us. I'm sure we'll see you again on Frogs on Friday.
Thank you.
Let's now, whilst we get everything set up in terms of going to Auckland, we do have, and talking to Remy about our top office dog in New Zealand, here's a quick video launching the campaign. I bloody love that video. Remy, how's Auckland? What's happening?
Hey, Mark. It's going really well. Well, Auckland obviously is in lockdown, so we are waiting for the announcement today. I think it's mostly for New Zealand more than for Auckland, but hopefully we'll get out of this lockdown sooner rather than later. But on the positive side, we are launching the Top Dog campaign on Monday, so very, very excited about this so far.
Well, I can see we've already had a comment on Facebook as well about. So it's Dean on Facebook saying, "I need to go and buy a dog and enter this competition." So I'm not sure if Dean's a cat person. He's gone, no bugger. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy a dog now. All right. So, well, tell us about the competition, because Frog's been sponsoring and running the New Zealand Top Dog or Top Office Dog for many years now. Do you want to give everybody an update of what the competition's about and what they can expect?
Yeah, for sure. So it's the sixth time we're actually organizing this campaign in New Zealand. So at first we started with Top Office Dog, and it's still our main award. But throughout the years, we've added quite a few other awards. So we have the Top Dog of a Job. We also have the Top Dog People's Choice, and this year we are launching a new award, which is Top Dog Friendly Workplace. And I'm really, really excited to see all those workplaces that are actually celebrating the benefits of having dogs in the workplace.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what about last year's winner? Who won it last year?
So if you've seen this video, you've seen actually two of the winners were part of this video. So one of the dog was a very little one, very, very fluffy, Mino. So Mino was a Top Dog People's Choice. And I've met with his owner quite a few times, and Mino is like the cutest thing in the world. And he actually won last year with about 1,200 votes. So 1,200 votes, 1,200 people voted for Mino, which was really, really impressive. And you've also seen in this video Ren, who was like the black Labrador, and Ren is a mobility dog. So Claudia she has had some personal health issues in the past, and this is why she got the help of this mobility dog Ren. And it's quite impressive to see how much Ren has helped her and supported her, because not just from a physical health perspective, but also from a mental health perspective. So yeah, it was really, really heartwarming last year to read all those different entries from different people and seeing the impact of dogs on our lives.
Now, we don't make this decision either, do we? There's the independent judges, and who have we got lined up this time around?
So this time around, we have for New Zealand, we have Petstock. So Petstock is our main sponsor. We'll also have Pet Refuge, so our charity of the year. And Pet Refuge is supporting people who are victims of domestic abuse by providing a shelter for their pets while they are trying to escape abuse. And we also have Mark Vetty. So for people who knows a lot about dogs, Mark Vetty is a go-to dog behavioralist. Sorry for my French accent, but behavioralist. And he's just a well-known media personality, and he's an amazing person. So I've met with him and his wife, and they were absolutely lovely. And finally, we will have Matty McLean, who is part of the TV breakfast team, and Ryan Rees, who is Matty McLean's partner and a real estate professional.
Yeah. So Matty, he's the weather guy, isn't he, on TV?
Yeah,
TV
you've seen him. If you you definitely should follow him on social media. So he decided very recently to actually put up the Christmas tree to make something quite positive in a lockdown. So it was actually quite a fun decision.
Let's see if we can find that, and we'll pop that in the comments as well. Kirsty, Facebook says, what do we need to enter the competition?
So to enter the competition, you can just go to nztopdog.co.nz, and you'll see on the 30th of August, on Monday next week, you will see a form on this page where you can just fill this form, post a picture on Instagram, and make sure you tag Frog Recruitment and Petstock _NZ, and you'll be all good to go, and you'll be part of the campaign.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll join you again with some updates of some cool entries into the competition during the next month. But thanks for joining us, Remy. And make sure you get involved with New Zealand Top Dog if you're a dog lover. www.nztopdog.co.nz, and that'll get you there. Rightio. Thanks, Remy. So we're coming to the end now. I've got just the Twitter poll to talk to you about. And so last week it was a doozy. Should job seekers include their vaccination status on their resumes? So we had 376 voters in the Twitterverse who said, and 55%, 54.3, said no. But 45% said yes. So there was quite a lot of comment around this particular poll that people were implying that it was like a discrimination device, etc. Certainly not what it was meant to be about. It's more about, well, if I'm a candidate and should I put my vaccination status on my resume? Anyway, we also did this in Australia, and Australia came out reverse: 55 yes, 45 no. But then when we drilled down into Australia, we did a snap survey in Queensland, and Queensland came out to be 68% no, 32% yes. So there's definitely some variation in terms of the answer to this question. The UK, 50-50. So anyway, it's very interesting. Get involved in the debate. Jump on Twitter and join the conversation there with Frog, and let us know what your view is. So this week we thought we'd go a bit of get away from COVID. We're all in lockdown. Let's now go to something a little bit more fun. And so we thought we'd decide, how many dogs would you allow in the office? 1, 2, 3 plus. We're a pack. Or no, none at all. We're not going to have any dogs in the office. There's a whole bunch of behavioural questions there. We won't even go there. But anyway, 1, 2, 3 plus or none. Jump on Twitter and do that. Rightio. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the second Frogs on Friday. We'll be back next week across New Zealand on Facebook, YouTube and LinkedIn at 12:30. Hopefully you'll join us then.